All right, let's get into this Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap. I'm actually surprised that they even released new episodes of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Miami literally on the biggest travel day of the year. But here we are. I'm still away. I'm still doing the recap, making time in between Thanksgiving dinner and Black Friday. Houseofkempire.com. Go get your House of Kempire. There is a discount code we will be making available in the description and all of that. Happy holiday season. You know it's my favorite. Look, I got a real tree as the background and my festive bed sheets, quilts. Okay, I'm already festive, but you know I've already been slowly but surely getting festive and ready for the holiday season. But one of the biggest things, before we get into this Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap, I really want to be present for the holidays. I feel like the last couple of holidays, it really sort of has come and gone because I've been so wrapped up. Got to decorate, got to do this, got to do that. But if you're not present and you don't enjoy the festivities and the process of the festivities, what is the point? Right? What is the point? So I really truly want to be present despite all the things that I have coming up this month, the rest of the rest of this year, and what's to come in the new year. Excited, excited, excited. Stay tuned. Get your pocketbooks and your wallets ready. Come on now. Anyways, guys, let's talk about this episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But before we do that, be sure to like the video. Be sure to make sure that you're subscribed because it is subscribers only live chat. And be sure to let us know how you would rate this episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. If you had time, if you even had time, this is why I'm glad that we're putting this out after Thanksgiving, because it's given everyone an opportunity, because I know you all have been cooking, doing all the things. Now you're probably Black Friday shopping. Well, whenever you're watching this, be sure to let us know your thoughts on the episode, how you'd rate the episode, what you're thinking about the season. We're already on episode 5. Next week, we get to meet Anne Marie. Did you guys see the new story that came out about her husband allegedly essaying a woman back in 1994, back in college? I know a lot of you are like, why are so many essay cases coming out now? Well, because in New York and California, they opened it up where people could file lawsuits and things like that after the statute of limitations. So that's why you're seeing so many come out at this time. All right. All right, so let's get into this countdown, and then let's get into this recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 13, Episode 5. All right.
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead. Just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So we ended last week's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with Sutton and Kyle having a conversation about their issues in Vegas. And of course, now everyone has been running with the whole name them. Name them. Look, Sutton is unintentionally funny, maybe intentionally funny at certain points. I have to say, in this episode, she really did make me laugh during her confessionals. And I do think that Sutton was inebriated during her conversation with Kyle. Kyle didn't outright say it. She didn't outright say it, but she did list and name all the instances where Sutton may have been a little dramatic, a little, I don't know if I would say unhinged. Unhinged is very dramatic, but, but off. Okay. Off. All right. So she lets all that know, let Sutton know all those instances. So Kyle does name them. Okay. She does name them. But I also feel like Kyle, look, I know a lot of people are sluttons, and so you're slutting for Sutton. But at the same time, I can also see when Sutton is not necessarily 100% a friend or 100% calm. But at the same time, I look at Kyle, I'm like, Kyle, you barely have your family's back. You chose the Fox Forest flunkies over your own family. And I'm not saying that Kathy Hilton is innocent. I'm not saying that Kathy Hilton isn't triggering or toxic to Kyle. I'm not saying that. But I don't know if I would choose Lisa Rinna over anyone. Look, I'm just saying, if I had, it's like, who was the lesser of evils? But I get it. Some people specifically might say, well, I would choose Lisa Rinna because she's not as triggering to me as Kathy Hilton. Okay. But at the same time, I'm just sort of like, Kyle she's not, what's the word? I don't know what the word is. It's hard for me to be pro Kyle anytime. I was pro Kyle in Vegas because I felt like Sutton was doing the most, and I do feel like Sutton felt rejected by the dancers, and that's why she had the reaction that she had. But I also feel like Kyle can be annoying, and although Sutton is wrong, I feel as if Kyle can be a little, like, taking little jabs and like, what's wrong with you? Like, when you need a moment by yourself, Kyle will be like, but what's wrong? You know, that person that, like, when you need a moment, like, I'm that type of person. I need a moment away from you or away from the group. I don't need you coming running after me. And I'm not saying that's what Kyle was doing, but I feel like Kyle can be that way. Although I do feel like Sutton was overly dramatic. She was on 10. Even Garcelle admits that she was doing too much. And Garcelle is tired of being the one to always be there to calm her down. All right. But Kyle's just like, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this. And it's hard for me to even defend anyone in this instance. Kyle, because it's Kyle. Sutton, because I do think that she was inebriated in that conversation. So although funny when she's like, name him. Name him. It's funny. Put it on a t-shirt. I'm sure she already has. All right. Erica and her mom. This is Erica's redemption season, and seeing her with her mom and learning more about the dynamic between her and her mom. She said her mom had her when she was very young. You know, she remembers clubbing with her mom. She said she remembers all the fights that she's had with her mom. So her mom is coming to LA to spend some time with her. Her mom comes once a year. Now her mom is coming to stay with her in her smaller home when she lives with Tom. Her mom can be in the East Wing. However, now they have to decide, Mom, you can sleep in my bed. I'm going to sleep on the couch. She's like, no, you can sleep with me. I appreciate what we're getting from Erica, although I do feel like some of it is forced. Some of it's pre-produced, but I do believe the dynamic between Erica and her mom is what she tells us. I'm ready for us to kind of move on from all of the Tom Girardi situation. Her mom later brings up Tom and I guess basically a fight that they had and they didn't talk for like a year. Erica and her mom was over her bringing up Tom and asking a question about Tom. I thought that was interesting. All right. But she says that her mom always felt like a sibling. I mean, it explains a lot when we understand why Erica has had the life that she's had, why Erica may have ended up with the man that she did. Maybe it's because of the complicated relationship that she had with her own dad and the complicated relationship we had with her mom, who felt more like a sibling than a mom. Which makes me wonder what kind of mom Erica is. That's the side of Erica that we have never really seen. Besides her get really upset and emotional when someone brings up her son. But that would be an interesting aspect to see. But I get it. Her son is on the police force. He does not want to be on reality TV. I respect it. But at the same time, it always feels as if we're missing something when it comes to Erica, which might be part of the reason why people lacked sympathy for her. But we also understand why people lack sympathy for her, because she lacks sympathy for anyone besides herself. A lot of people pictured Erica as being this cold-hearted ice queen who had no sympathy for the people that her husband, her estranged husband, had stolen millions and millions of dollars from. So I do think there's an element of Erica that we never got to know or understand or have sympathy for and connection for. So when we had all of this play out, like, oh, look at the Ice Queen. So it did not endear anyone to Erica. I am pulling out the psychology degree for these recaps recently, but I'm trying to understand where Erica and why people had such a visceral reaction to Erica and the whole Tom situation. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of why people had a visceral reaction to Erica had nothing necessarily to do with just Tom and his antics and him stealing from his clients. I think it really had more to do with how she reacted or how they showed her reacting on the show and her lack of empathy for the victims. All right. And then insinuating, because I haven't forgotten this, Erica. I'm allowing you space and grace this season, but we haven't forgotten how you also insinuated the alleged victims. No, sweetheart. The victims that your husband stole from actually won judgments against your husband. So there really are no alleged victims right now. But okay, we're giving you space and time. Okay. All right, but I do appreciate seeing her mom. And if her mom is a part of her limited series, I will watch it. Because I like seeing that dynamic with Erica. Like we saw seeing Erica be a little bit more vulnerable. And being vulnerable has nothing to do with Erica crying. It has to do with Erica really talking about her past in a genuine, authentic way. In my opinion. All right. So moving on from there, we have Garcelle and Jade, which I'm loving all the separate scenes with the Housewives in Beverly Hills right now that we're getting. I'm loving that we're getting to see Jade and Jax a little bit more. We're getting to see their personalities a little bit more. I mean, they're also older. They're 15 years old. When did they become so tall? They had a growth spurt from last season to this season because they are so tall. But I love their personalities and they're very different. And Garcelle seems to have not a better relationship, but a different dynamic with Jade versus Jax. Jax is a little bit different, as we saw. He's a little bit more judgmental. But I think a lot of people that have relationships with their parents are different. And you see this in your family dynamic. You're probably seeing it literally this weekend while you're celebrating Thanksgiving holiday with your family. You're probably being triggered. You're probably seeing all the family dynamics being played out as we speak. All right. Let me know in the comment section, live chat. Let me know in the live chat. Did you guys get into a fight over this weekend? Just saying. But Jade is cooking. He's making food, and he's talking about, Garcelle's talking about how Jade doesn't challenge her as much as Jax does. He's more of a protector. She says it's easier with Jade versus Jax, which we've seen earlier this season what she means by that. Jax probably holds her to a different standard. Jade is sort of like, everything's cool. Can Ashlyn come over? Can Ashlyn spend the night? And Garcelle's like, no. But she does say that she wants to have a different relationship with her kids than she did with her own parents. She wants them to be able to express themselves because she wasn't able to express herself with her mom. And I said this to a lot of Black kids, a lot of Caribbean families can relate to what Garcelle is saying. And I think a lot of people have been trying to make those efforts as well to kind of change the dynamic. It was like, I wasn't her. But some of you are still perpetuating the same thing. Like, no, children need to be seen and not heard because you felt like that worked for you. At the end of the day, whatever works for you and your family, you are the parent. I'm not judging it. But what I can appreciate from Garcelle is that she's showing a different way on a huge platform that I hope people will mimic. So I love seeing her talk about that. And then she told us a story about how she lied to her parents that she was going over her friend, was it Ashley's house? I forget who her friend was. And then her mother called looking for Ashley. And Garcelle was out with some boy driving her mom's car. Her father's chasing her down. She tells the boy to jump out the car. And her father catches up with her and says, "Go follow me home." She doesn't tell us what happened, but if you are the child of a Black mama or a Caribbean mama, then you know what that was. And I get why Garcelle did not want to share it, because we all can read between the lines. For those of you that can't, sorry. Lucky you. Look, lucky you. Anyways, she is preparing and just discussing now Black Girl Missing, a incredible Lifetime movie that she produced and starred in, and we will have a screening of this at the end of this particular episode. Speaking of being at home, I've told you guys this before. I do like Crystal. I don't think Crystal is necessarily boring. I also don't feel like she has really been engaged with the rest of the group. We don't really get a lot of her. But I always enjoy seeing her at home with her family. And she's catching up with Rob. Rob was in China. They have a home in China. Good for them. Can we go to China? Oh, wait. I don't think we can, technically, right? Could they film in China? I mean, I guess they could. I mean, but I'm sure it'd probably be logistical issues. But that would be fabulous to go to her home in China. Anyway, so part of Crystal's storyline, I know you guys are thinking, oh, she's using her brother for a storyline. We got to get out of that. Your family is a part of your storyline. I'm sure there are things happening with Crystal personally, but your family is a part of your storyline, especially right now. You're probably realizing, yeah, my family would be a part of my storyline this week, especially with all the drama that's happening at home right now with Thanksgiving. Just saying. So she's still talking about the issues of what happened during the pandemic when they her and her mom forced her brother, not really, but told him to come home because of the pandemic. But his then fiance could not because she had a Chinese passport. I'm skipping over what we have already said about us being completely shocked about the fiance situation. Okay, read between the lines. All right. But apparently, her brother, Jeff, is still very upset about what went down because there really was no issue with his fiancée, Vivi, because it was just the pandemic that separated them. So he's in China being emotional, crying. They FaceTime with him. He's crying. Rob believes that the real issue here is a competitive energy between Crystal and Vivi. Which I could see that. A lot of you can relate to what's happening in the family dynamic that's happening with Crystal, her brother being resentful, maybe towards his mom and his sister for forcing him to come home, and him having to end his relationship. Here's the thing. He didn't have to end his relationship. He's a grown man. But I also think because he was a pop star, that he sort of didn't have real relationships until a little bit later on in life. So maybe he's starting to feel some of that. Here we go with the psychology again. Come on, think about it. Everyone's story is different. Everyone's family dynamics are different. If you grow up in the entertainment industry, your growth is either fast forward or somewhat stunted because you do not have the same experiences as some other people. So maybe he felt like, okay, finally, I'm going to have my own family. I'm going to be able to have a relationship, like a real relationship with a real person. And now this pandemic, a lot of things happened during the pandemic that people are still feeling the effects of. There were a lot of relationships that were developed and marriages that happened during the pandemic that are now divorcing. So maybe this is a good thing, Jeff. Maybe now you can have this relationship. I wouldn't be surprised if they tell us that they are now together. Just saying. Maybe. All right, it just had to move. We got to make sure that we're on a charger. Anyways, so well, first of all, can we just point out, I love the fact that their house manager was eating dinner with them. I love that. Let's normalize stuff like that. I don't know if we've ever seen anything like that in reality television, but I love it. I appreciate it. It's those small things that we don't pay attention to or point out that I want us to point out. And I love seeing Crystal's kids. I like Rob. Rob seems so unproblematic. I love it. All right. Sutton and Jennifer Tilly. I know a lot of you are hyping up Jennifer Tilly and saying that you love Jennifer Tilly on the show. You want to see more of Jennifer Tilly on the show. Here's the thing. I love Jennifer Tilly. I love the fact that she has a real friendship with Sutton. I love that she like subtly drags Sutton or keeps Sutton grounded in a lot of ways. And I don't need her to be a full-time housewife because I feel like you guys will tear Jennifer Tilly apart. Like you, not you guys, but you know what I'm saying? Like the community loves to build these people up as your fan fave, make her a full-time housewife, and then you ruin her and then you hate her. Like, I don't want to do that to Jennifer Tilly, okay? But I like her friendship with Sutton, and I'm sure a lot of the reason why we're seeing Jennifer Tilly this season is because fans have said we want more Jennifer Tilly. I like their friendship. So, as you know, Sutton got a horse for $47,000, and she only got one because her manicure pedicurist, got one too. All right. So she's bringing flowers to put around her horse, Santos, and she brought carrots and things for him. He's throwing up. All right. Is she really going to ride him? I wonder. So Jennifer Tilly and Sutton sit down to talk about Kyle and her issues with Kyle. And she's like, there's something going on with Kyle. She's just so different. She's working out all the time. There's rumors. She's not wearing her wedding ring. So she's perpetuating, and I'm sure on some level, Kyle is like, good, keep perpetuating this rumor that Kempire doesn't believe in. I'm just saying. But she's like, there's a lot of just different changes. And Jennifer Tilly's just sort of like taking it in. She's just like, and this is where we're hearing that in the tabloids, they're talking about rumors of issues with Mauricio and Kyle's marriage and Mauricio apparently cheating. There have been rumors for years, rumors that haven't even made it to the tabloids. All right. Those LA streets have been talking for years. All right. About Kyle too, not cheating, but knowing about the cheating and sort of like covering it up, allegedly. All right. So they catch up and they talk about what's been going on with her and Kyle. And I think for some reason Sutton really feels like she's been more of a friend to Kyle than Kyle has been to her. I'm not surprised by that, but at the same time, I'm not sure. I think Sutton's a great friend in a lot of ways, but I also think that Sutton, because she's so high strung, depending on your personality, it can be annoying. And I think even with Garcelle, they have a really good friend, but I also think that Garcelle can get a little annoyed by Sutton sometimes, because Sutton can be a lot. She can be a lot. And some people can't deal with that. And I know Kyle is not the most loyal friend and she's not the best personality, but I also don't think that Sutton's an easy person to be friends with. Even Crystal has said the same thing. So I'm not, even no matter how people feel about Kyle, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Sutton is an easygoing friend. All right. Moving on from, I appreciate that scene. She has a horse. The horse is beautiful. Almost $50,000 for this horse. All right. So Erica and her mom are back at home and it's already been 24 hours and Erica's just ready for her to go. All right. She's like, Mom, I don't have, a cleaning lady here 5 days a week like before. This woman is only here 1 day a week. Why didn't you wash these dishes? And then they talk about Erica on Broadway and how her mom at the time, she wasn't talking to her mom for a year at that point, and her mom allegedly ambushed her on Broadway. She's talking to everyone and she's like, Mom, what are you even doing here? And apparently the reason why they had a falling out was because Erica hung up the phone on her mom because her mom was asking questions about Tom. Remember, Tom never went to go see Erica on Broadway. We found that out later. And as soon as her mom starts bringing up the whole, oh, well, you never even went to that law firm. How many times in 20 years did you go to that law firm? And that's what she's like, Mom, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. No, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because I don't feel like there's anything wrong with her saying, yeah, I really didn't go there, but people are going to believe what they want to believe. I don't know why she can't say that. But I digress. I think she's probably just avoiding talking about it at all, that she might say something that might be held against her later. Okay, better safe than sorry, right? All right. So Kyle and Dorit FaceTime, Garcelle and Sutton FaceTime, and they're talking about Kyle and Sutton's last interaction. So Kyle tells Dorit about how Sutton was acting. And then she jumps up. Like, here's the thing. Like, we do realize that Sutton was being dramatic when she was reenacting because she felt like Erica set her up by the elevator in Vegas with the Magic Mike dancers. And a lot of us felt like that was a setup. Like, the timiness of the dancers being there. Mikey was in the elevator, too. I'm sure Mikey could have sent a little text message. We're coming down on the elevator. Be there. Be there. Or texting Mikey, we're at the elevator, come down now. You know what I mean? So I could see Erica doing that because Erica looked like she knew what she wanted to say. She completely made up things that Sutton had said. So I can see that. But Kyle's reenactment of Sutton, like she had to stand up and reenact, like literally you guys were sitting down. So now you're taking it to a whole other level. Like she was like, I mean, yes, they do replay. Sutton's just like, oh, and ah. But you jump up, like you were even more aggressive, Kyle, than Sutton was. I feel like you could have literally sat down and reenacted what Sutton did because you made it seem as if Sutton got up. For me, reenacting something where someone was sitting and then you're reenacting it as if they were standing up, it's like you are being overly dramatic. I'm not saying that Sutton wasn't dramatic in that moment, but now you're jumping up and then the harshness of your voice was a lot harsher than Sutton's voice was at the time, in my opinion. So Sutton is telling Garcelle about what happened as well. Look, I don't even care. Look, I don't even care. I don't know if I even care about a beef between Sutton and Kyle, but I am here for Sutton and Kyle realizing that they're not as friendly as they thought they were, or that Kyle has never really been a friend to Sutton. Let's be honest. But some people might say vice versa. Sutton hasn't really been a friend to Kyle either. I think so, though. I really do feel like Sutton has tried to be a friend to Kyle. And we see how Sutton is friendly. Like when she really considers you a friend, she really does try to be a friend to you. I don't know if I feel the same in regards to Kyle, vice versa. All right. Anyways. All right. So Dorit isn't prepared because she's having a conversation with Sutton in the car as Sutton is taking. She's like, I need to make sure that I take pictures. She has a photographer. We didn't even realize she had a photographer when she went to go see her horse. So she's taking all these professional photos for her Instagram because she needs that for her, to promote her business and blah, 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 blah. So Dorit's in the car waiting. She's like, where is she? She's like very late. So she finally gets in the car and they're talking about the screening. So they're going to the Black Girl Missing screening, Garcelle's screening. And she's like, yeah, there's supposed to be like 100 people there. And Dorit's just like, oh, I wasn't prepared for something like that. I really do not like large crowds because, as you know, she's still dealing with the PTSD of someone coming into her home. All right. Here's the thing. Because I know some of you don't believe in Dorit's PTSD. You don't believe in the burglary. For me, I can concur with you because that random moment when Dorit jumps, we still don't know what she was jumping at. The cameraman? I'm just like, okay, girl. It just always feels so forced. It always feels so fake. I still don't know what she was doing with $10,000, taking $10,000 to go shopping at Target. I mean, she said she had a cart. Where are you shopping that needs $10,000 in a cart? Okay. And then you're leaving your purse. Just, okay. All right. But Dorit always finds a moment to kind of make it seem as if, like, I can't do this. Oh, there's going to be 100 people there. I'm like, okay. But I'm going to give her grace. I'm going to give her the grace that she did not give Garcelle. Okay. Jax is his mother because his mother can be a little bit of a troll, a little bit of a shady queen. And I feel like Jax was like, oh, there's Erica. He's like, Crystal, come with me. Because remember, Crystal was the one who saved Jax last season from a drunk Erica. So he's like, I'm going to go approach Erica. And Crystal's like, okay. But I love it because literally I'm seeing Garcelle. Like she really has raised these boys right. But I'm seeing Garcelle sort of like Garcelle could be a little bit of a troublemaker. She could be like stirring the pot. I don't think that's what he's doing, but in a way, I think he's doing that. All right. So he does go up to Erica and says to Erica, I just wanted to let you know that everything is okay between us. Like there's no hard feelings. And Erica's like, I am so sorry. I did apologize to your mother, but I want to apologize to you. And she's like, you know what? Garcelle has done a good job with these boys. Yeah, because like he did not have to go up to Erica. And then Garcelle says in her confessional, I kind of wish that Erica had gone up to him. But I've seen a lot of you on social media say, well, Garcelle, you say you don't trust them around your kids. Here's the thing, though. I get what Garcelle is saying. She doesn't trust them around her children. especially when she was inebriated. But I think Garcelle would have been okay if Erica went up to her son and apologized because now she's not inebriated. Like, I get where Garcelle was coming from in her confessions. Like, I kind of wish that she had taken the initiative and been the mature adult and went up to him and apologized instead of him being the mature one and taking the step to let her know that everything is okay. Because he didn't have to do that. To be honest with you, even if I was his age, even if at my big age, I probably wouldn't have done that. Just saying. Even if everything was okay and she wasn't on my mind, I'm not going up to you. If you want to come up to me and apologize, that's one thing, but I'm not going up to you. But I appreciate that. He is more gracious than I. Okay. But I saw a lot of you saying, like, why, Garcelle, you just told them that they didn't feel safe or, around your kids. Okay, guys. In general, however, I think Erica taking the initiative to go up to Jax and apologizing would start to make Garcelle feel a little bit more safe around, or grab Garcelle and say, I'd like to apologize to Jax. Like that is how you could have done it. So I don't see anything wrong in what Garcelle was saying. I mean, I do see something wrong in that confessional look though, Garcelle. I can't, and then, all right. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I hope you guys are already started decorating your trees. Okay. Hope you guys also had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I did. All right. Moving on. At this party, first of all, can I just point out the obvious things? The things that I pay attention to. This is a screening with a lot of people. Why was that TV so small? Why was that TV so small? I was like, why is this so small? We should have had a projector or something. But I appreciate the message behind the screening, this being shared on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that gets over 1 million viewers. It's probably going to be over 2 million after, everyone watches on the DVR or on Peacock. So I appreciate her doing that. All right. So Garcelle is greeted after they start the screening because everyone's interacting and having a good time. We're seeing all kinds of people that we know and love as actors. Remember, Garcelle's been in this business a long time. She knows some people, including the legendary Denise Richards, who we knew was going to come back this season. So she shows up to the screening. Garcelle is really happy that she's there. She came in very casual, and of course she starts interacting with the other ladies. Dorit sees her. She's like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen Denise in years," because the last time we saw her was at the reunion. That was like 3 years ago. Who knew that much time had passed? So she shows up to the screening. A lot of people were like, "Oh, okay." And this is just the beginning of us seeing Denise be a part of this show. I will say this. I will always say this. I get it. Why people are like, of course, Denise shows up when Lisa Rinna isn't there. I mean, it makes sense to me. Would you show up after a friend that you knew for so long turns on you on a reality show just for her own benefit? No. All right. But I also will say this, that y'all hyped Denise up like she was like an iconic housewife. I don't think she was iconic. I think she was okay. It's nice to see an update from her. But at the same time, I'm like, just saying. In my opinion, everyone has a right to your own unpopular opinion. That might be an unpopular one, but this is my review. All right. Moving on. Kyle and Sutton end up having a conversation. Well, Sutton decides to approach. I have to say, I did like Kyle's outfit. I like the color. I like the hat. I'm starting to see the Morgan Wade influence. Very much. Anyways, so Sutton decides she wants to talk about the other night. And, Kyle says, something just seems off with you. And Sutton doesn't like that. Sutton says that she thinks that Kyle treats her like a little sister. She also thinks that Kyle might be upset that Sutton is hanging out with her sister, Kathy Hilton. And I agree with Sutton. And I think that might be the underlying thing that we have forgotten. Because remember, I think it was episode 1. It definitely was episode 1 that Kyle was mentioning how Sutton was hanging out with her sister, and she was making it seem like, oh, Sutton's only hanging out with her because she wants to be a part of those parties. She wants to be in that elite group. And we were all like, I don't think Sutton needs you or Kathy to be amongst those people. She has already been hanging out amongst those people years before this. Let's be honest. She's a socialite, all right? And I think it's more so what you think, Kyle. That is more telling about you and your personality and your perception of the situation. Well, Sutton says that she feels as if Kyle might be upset that she's hanging out with her sister, who she's not currently in a great relationship with. Kyle had some recent interviews saying that her and Kathy are in a better place. All right. She also says that her friendship with Kyle is a farce. And a lot of you said, yeah, we knew that already. Any friendship with Kyle is a farce. Look at her friendship with LVP. They were friends for a very long time. And now look at where their friendship is. There is no friendship. And Sutton also feels like Kyle doesn't share anything with her. She's like, if I'm your real friend, why aren't you letting me know what's really going on with you? There's rumors in the tabloids. There's things being said. You're not wearing your wedding ring. There's a lot of things happening, and you're not sharing anything with me. Look. Garcelle pulls Dorit to the side to confront her about what went down when they were in Vegas, and when Garcelle opened up about how she felt when it comes to the group and being around her children. But it was Dorit's reaction that really kind of taken her back, because she's like, now I'm supposed to feel guilty because I've told you how I feel. And she was like, how would you feel if I told you, you were robbed over a year ago? Move on. I was like, I thought I was the only one that had that realization. I was like, you, Dorit, of all people, should be sympathetic that she might not feel comfortable around the group anymore, or her kids be comfortable around the group anymore. So they do come to a better place, but there always seems to be some sort of back and forth between Garcelle and Dorit, and they might just not like each other. However, Garcelle does say, I do like Dorit. I think that Dorit is not malicious or mean. I will agree with that. Although Dorit has been a part of the Fox Horse Flunkies, I don't feel like she is directly malicious. You know what I mean? I do think that Kyle can be malicious in her own way, but almost in a sneaky, snide way. I really do feel like Dorit has a heart. And I do think that Dorit was in such a complicated, awkward moment with Erica that it's sort of like, what do I do here? Like, I want to protect this kid, but at the same time, I want to stop Erica. So, but we also have to keep in mind, I think Garcelle's not just talking about that particular instance. She's also talking about the Mauricio and PK conversation and how everyone was laughing. Just saying, like, how would you feel if that happened to your child? And Garcelle's bringing up an important fact that, Black children are treated very differently. And subconsciously, a lot of people don't realize that they're doing it. Just saying. And that's why this movie is so important. Black Girl Missing. And how so many Black girls and, girls of color go missing, and they don't get the same media attention or funding for finding them. So they show the movie. Everyone's getting emotional when they watch the movie. Fantastic. We even get to see a couple of clips from the movie, including Garcelle being a badass and fighting. All right. And of course, they promote where you can help and continue the conversation about Black girls that go missing around the world and don't get the same attention. All right. But we do see that Denise Richards in the preview for next week, we're going to see a little bit more of her. I just hate the fact that Denise is drunk. It's very clear that Denise is drunk. I don't want to see, I need Denise in her right mind. I need Denise really going for it. But I feel like, Denise. We do see Cynthia Bailey. Sidebar, did you guys see Cynthia Bailey and Nene in Dubai? What is going on? What is going on? But good for them. We also get to see Camille Graham is there. We also get to see, who else is there? Denise Richards, Cynthia Bailey. I feel like there was someone else. We also get to see Anne Marie. Anne-Marie is going to be introduced in episode 6. You may have seen the news report come out about her husband from a victim from 1994 when he was in college, I believe. So it will be interesting, but that's not the only thing following this couple. You know, some of their transphobic comments on social media came to light when it was announced that she was going to be on the show. It will be interesting to see how this will all play out. We do know that Anne-Marie and Crystal go at it this season. I know some people are like, I'm already team this one or that one. Let's see how this all plays out. I'm willing to hear their apology, look, their apology for their old comments, their old transphobic comments. And we also shall see, I'm not going to also punish a woman for her husband's misdeeds and problematic behavior or crimes from 1994. We shall see. All right. Was there anything else that I want to say? I'm excited for next week's episode. I feel like this has been a good season for Beverly Hills. I was just tweeting saying that I feel like this season doesn't feel as toxic or dark. And I know Crystal recently did an interview saying that you notice how we haven't seen a lot of leaks this season. We had a lot of leaks last season. And she was directly talking about Lisa Rinna. But I also feel like this season, we're getting everyone's personal story. I feel like we're talking about real things. I think we're having a good time. You know, you're getting the fabulosity of Beverly Hills. I feel like it's a good season. And even we're getting a redemption arc for Erica Jane. And I'm actually okay with it. Maybe it needed to happen 2 years later instead of the first season of all of this playing out. It feels real. It feels authentic. It feels natural. I appreciate that. What else did I want to say about this episode before I let you guys go? I think that's it. We can always discuss this when I'm back in the studio. We have more new episodes coming. I will be recapping Real Housewives of Miami. Stay tuned for that. Still gotta watch it. But that might come later. Stay tuned. Look, I'm trying to enjoy my vacation. I always work when I'm on vacation. Damn it. Look, damn it. Anyways, shout out to our King's Guards. We could not do this without our King's Guards. We also cannot keep the lights on or continue to create content because even though I'm still having tech issues with this content, shout out to our members of the channel. You guys hold me down on a monthly basis. Some of you have been members recently, a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years almost. Thank you to all of you. If you would like to become a member and support us as content creators so we're not relying on ad revenue, become a member at TheKempire.com/join. And if you want a sweatshirt like this one, embroidered, there's a Black Friday sale going on as well. Head on over to houseofkempire.com and check it out. And be sure to check out TheKempire.com for our podcast and so much more. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to get out of here. I will see you all in the next recap. Don't forget to like the video. It's important. It matters. Thank you in advance. Bye, y'all.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll ask you. Follow my lead.